Hello there. Firstly, a couple of apologies. I've got a stinking cold. I'm going to soldier on, but don't be surprised if I snot all over you. Secondly, it's the windiest day ever, and things are blowing over and the wind is blowing in through the windows, so apologies if you can hear that. Anyway, this video, by popular demand, is going to be a discussion about the problems you can have when you're buying things from BrickLink. So I've written a little list here, and I'm going to work through each of these items. If you disagree with me, or you've got your own stories or additional points that you'd like to mention, please leave them down below, because I'll be interested to see what you think. Hopefully some of these things are just things that I'm doing incorrectly. My throat really is quite sore. So the first item on my list is the BrickLink Search, which I have to say is absolute crap. If you know the Lego set number, it's fine. You can enter that into the search and a set will come up properly. But if, for example, you put the word Lego X-Wing, it won't come up. I implore BrickLink to just improve their search. It should be able to auto-correct things. If you misspelt millennium, for example, it wouldn't return anything. And these days we're used to the likes of Google, where you can just type in any old rubbish and it works out what it was you were trying to search for. So yes, the BrickLink Search can be very frustrating if you're looking for a particular set. Now the second point on my list is not all bricks are the same. So I recently ordered loads and loads of different bricks from BrickLink from lots of different sellers, and they all came through the post in lots of different bags. Now this was quite a good way actually of seeing the range of different quality bricks that you receive from sellers. Now the first thing, and possibly the biggest problem that I noticed, were that there were two 45-degree slope bricks that looked hugely different. It's not great, especially when those two bricks are actually next to each other in the set. There's not really much you can do about it, but it's something to be wary of. Now I'm not sure if this is because Lego changed their design of the brick slightly. Hopefully one of you can let me know. Now that's quite an obvious difference. There are some more subtle differences when you buy bricks from BrickLink. I did notice that many of the grey bricks were yellowed quite significantly. If they were all yellowed, you probably wouldn't be able to see the difference. But if you've got new grey bricks next to older ones that have gone yellow, it's really quite obvious. Again, not really much you can do, although I suppose you could just buy new bricks. Now those things are arguably actually problems with those bricks. There are cases actually where you can receive a brick from a seller and it isn't actually the brick you ordered. There are some very subtle shade differences in colours for certain transparent bricks mostly. You ordered light neon green or something and they just send you light green or yellow because it looks similar. Now a lot of people will really hold that against a BrickLink seller. I think that most sellers, if you explain the situation to them, they will try and rectify it. And one way to avoid this is probably to buy from the bigger BrickLink stores, who probably know the colours in a lot more detail and a lot more kind of careful about the bricks they send out to you. So another problem I've had on BrickLink involves the inventory. What I really want to be able to do is put all the Lego sets I own into a kind of inventory and then take that inventory into account when I want to part out another set, so that I only buy the extra parts that I need. Now, I know I can do this using BrickSet, but all the information can be stored on BrickLink, so why can't I do it on there? Surely that would be better for BrickLink, because then I would just be using their site. Now, the next point on my list is you really have to read the descriptions. So there have been several times where I've bought items from BrickLink, received them, and then thought, hang on a minute, that's not what I ordered. Why is that Lego minifigure missing a helmet? Or why has that not got any printing on it? And then when I've gone back and read the actual description of the item that I bought, they've written something like doesn't come with helmet, or the helmet doesn't have any printing on it, or doesn't have any legs. And I've kind of just overlooked it because I've been more interested in making sure that I don't pay £20 for a minifigure that comes from America. Now this is really a problem if you are parting out a set and buying it that way. You really should go through every item in your shopping cart and make sure that the condition of those items, it's a pain, but you really need to do it to avoid disappointment. Small orders. So I'm missing a few tiny Lego parts. I sold a little Lego minifigure and I realised that I didn't have the little sausage that's supposed to go in his bun, which sounds a little bit odd, but yeah, he's a hot dog vendor. I had to take that little hot dog from my personal collection of Lego. Now I want to replace the hot dog. I'm sure I can find the hot dog on BrickLink for less than a penny. Some sellers actually have a minimum order, because obviously they don't want to just be making less than a penny profit per order. But the result is that BrickLink isn't really a very good place to buy very small quantities of Lego from. It means that if I want to buy that, I'm probably going to have to wait until I need some more parts for some other sets. Now the next thing on my list, I actually made another video about in the past that Jangbricks actually commented on, which was quite impressive. I did kind of bait him a little bit by saying that I thought that he was wrong, and he is a really nice chap and he gave me quite a nice answer. And but to cut to the chase, the point I'm trying to make is about mistakes in orders. It's very frustrating for a buyer when you place an order and the item arrives and it's not quite the piece you wanted, or there are pieces missing from the order. I've sold a number of Lego sets myself, just my personal collections of Lego, and it is possible that you accidentally miss out a brick, even if you go through a checklist, which I do, or also just to kind of accidentally have put the wrong item in your inventory and not actually have it in your inventory to sell when someone buys it. So in those instances, if I know I've made a mistake in creating my inventory, I contact the buyer and say, look, I haven't got this. What do you want me to do? And most of the time, in fact, all the times that I've contacted a buyer, they've just said, yeah, it's fine, just do what you want. Send me a refund, send me another replacement part, don't send me the part, I don't really mind. But obviously it is very frustrating to receive an order and for it to not have the parts. Unfortunately, it's just a fact of life on BrickLink, and maybe stick to the bigger sellers so that hopefully the chance of a mistake occurring in your order is less. And now I want to talk a little bit about the fees of buying things from BrickLink. So there are sometimes quite extortionate fees to pay. They whack on these additional costs, which I think are quite unfair. So I'm sure most sellers will claim that actually they're very upfront about the fees that they charge, but in my experience, it is quite a complicated process to actually work out what a seller is going to charge you when you buy something. So they'll often have a terms and conditions page where they, quite reasonably outline the shipping costs. And generally I found the shipping costs to be quite reasonable, but it's still frustrating because you usually have to request an invoice from a seller to really know how much they're going to charge. The postage aside, I kind of take umbrage against some of the additional fees. A minimum order charge, or a processing charge, or a PayPal fee charge, and these are all sort of 1 or 2%, and I don't know if they realise this, but they can get really quite complicated. If your order is less than £5, we will charge a 2.5% PayPal fee. And if you're talking about ordering £5 worth of Lego parts, what are we talking? 50 pence fees or something? What is the point? You're making it so complicated that buyers just are going to be put off. It certainly annoys me. A better way of dealing with the overheads associated with small BrickLink orders is for sellers just to specify a minimum order in their stores. I understand that's frustrating for some buyers if they just want one Lego part, but at least then you get a little bit better value for money because then you're paying postage on more Lego parts rather than extortionate postage just to get one tiny Lego piece. And I also remember Brixar commenting on a video about BrickLink postage quite a while ago, and from what I remember, he did say that yeah, it is a bit of an odd situation when you have to request an invoice from a seller, and that you can't pre-calculate the postage fees, but that he didn't really see an alternative. And I think he's probably right. because of the huge variety in shapes, sizes and weight of Lego pieces, it's not really possible for sellers to kind of give fixed prices. That's my list that I have here of problems that I've had buying from BrickLink. As I said, it'd be interesting to know whether or not you've had similar problems or different problems, or whether you agree or disagree with me. So let me know down below. Here are some relevant videos which I think you'll enjoy if you enjoyed watching this one. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time for another video.